Hello and welcome to the iRacing Israel League. We're here for round number 9 of the series at beautiful Road Atlanta. It's a 4.06 kilometer circuit. The temperature on track is 36 degrees, which is quite warm, so we're going to see the drivers struggle a bit today on the tight and twisty first sector. Coverage, as always, provided by Apex Racing TV. My name is Dane Baird, and alongside me once again is Adam Barth, who, as always, is going to be controlling the cameras and the beautiful SDK gaming overlay that you're seeing on your screens. Also alongside us in the commentary booth tonight is Peter Mackay on his first Apex Racing TV broadcast. Welcome to you both. I'm going to start with you. Got no Dorian Tabechnic tonight, last week's race winner, of course. So what do you think that means for the race today? Do you think Alon Day is going to take his 6th win here tonight?
Well, we'll have to find out. It looked like it was going to be the case, wasn't it, last time out at Mid-Ohio? And we were treated to a classic there, of course. Alon Day having a spin early on and then fighting his way back through the field. And hopefully we'll see a decent battle at the front this time, but no Dorian Tabechnic. We did notice that in the practice session. He's not here today, so I think, Dane, you might be right in terms of Alon Day picking up another victory.
Another driver to watch out for, of course, Shalva. He's up into 2nd position after his qualifying laps. They only get 2 laps, and it's going to be interesting to see where they come out. I think it's only Michael Simon and Nir Nave who are left on the circuit. Simon's just left the circuit as I say that. Here is Nir Mizrahi, as you can see in that beautiful iRacing Israel League livery. That doesn't look like a qualifying lap to me. I think he's sort of binned it on this one. Actually, no, he's
on his in-lap, I reckon.
Yeah, he's just having a nice stroll around the circuit. We've got a couple minutes until we will start the long pace lap here at Road Atlanta, Peter. So it's going to be important for the drivers to warm up their tyres.
It really is. You know, these little Cayman 718 GT4 Clubsports, they're kind of they don't show it, but they do. They can bite. They have anti-lock brake systems. They have traction control and electronic stability control. But what I found when doing a little bit of exploratory practice myself earlier on today is that the cars really need a good few laps to get up to their optimum, even with those driver aid systems. So yeah, the pace lap is going to be super important to get heat in the brakes and in the tyres, in those Michelin slick tyres.
Definitely. We've seen, especially last time out at Mid-Ohio, Alon Day falling culprit to the cold tyres. Of course, they only had a couple of corners to warm up their tyres there. They've got a full lap here, so a full 4 kilometres before I'm assuming Alon Day is on pole position. Yes, he is, a full half a second ahead of Shalva. Wow. That's a very big gap. We don't have Dorian to try and fill that gap like we normally do. Dorian Tabechnic actually getting on pole position in the last few rounds. It's a shame he's not here. I think we're going to miss him here today. We've got 20 seconds left of qualifying, and then we'll get the grid up on the screen for you. But before we do, Adam, have you done any practice in this car and track? Do you have any idea where maybe we'll see some overtaking opportunities?
Well, I think the chicane is going to be probably one of the key overtaking spots. Turn 1, even though it's quite a wide entry, it is still very difficult to get a move done there just because it's such a quick corner. But if you do get alongside, you can fancy your chances into turn 1. One thing I'm intrigued to see is how good these cars are going to be in the slipstream. We didn't see too much of that at Mid-Ohio last week. I wonder if we might be able to see it today because we've got a much longer straight this time. Peter, I was just thinking while Dane was talking, could you maybe liken Road Atlanta to maybe a slightly longer knock hill? There's quite a lot of undulation around here. Could you maybe compare the two in some sort of way?
It certainly is. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it is on old farmland, which is exactly as kind of like Knockhill's been stretched out a little bit. You know, at Knockhill you've got a great slip street. You know, you come out of a very slow corner, first, second gear corner at the hairpin, and then up the hill. Here at Road Atlanta, when you're coming out of turn 7, you want to actually brake, not try and brake too late, and focus, maybe compromise your entry to get the best possible exit, because it's such a long straight down towards turn 10A and 10B. So I can't wait to see what our drivers are going to do there. And, you know, it's interesting what you say about Alon Day. You know, I watched the Mid-Ohio race and how he just, even someone of his level, clipping the curb on the inside and sending him into a spin. that exact same danger is possible in turn 1. So watch that inside curb in turn 1 when we get going in this race.
Absolutely. We do have the grid up on the screen now. Alon Day, like you just mentioned, absolutely flying with a 126.5. Half a second behind him is Shalva in second. And we've got Adam Levitt up in third. As you can see, the drivers are going to start making their way around it instantly. Alon Day weaving those tyres. He's not going to come to the same mistake as he did last time out. All right, let's go back to the grid. Fourth position, Amir Meshalam. He's having a great last few rounds. We've got Saad Dekel, Hagay Farran, Oren Sade, Rand Sioni, Peter Green, and Yossi Gibai in his beautiful green car, rounding out the top 10. And we've got Hikam Naur in 11th. Yevgeny Patent rounding up the top 12. And we've got Eric Alster in the 666 car in 13th, Yehuda Ben Yosef in 14th, Ido Isaac in 15th, Dekel Naur in 16th, Michael Simon, not a great qualifying for him, he's down in 17th. Then we've got Toma Ventura, I think that's a new driver in this weekend. And we've got Nir Kopp in 19th and Michael Sherling in 20th position. He didn't set a time, he was third fastest in practice, so I think he's going to be one to watch in this one, coming up through the field from the back. You can see all of our drivers trying to get some heat into the tyres and brakes. Alon Day especially trying to get some tyres into his heat into his brakes. You can see him smashing on the brakes every now and again. Here's that corner you were just talking about, turn 7, Peter, and it's a
crucial corner.
Really crucial corner because you've got such a long straight after it. You really have to get that exit right, and it's a much tighter corner than it seems when you're driving around it. The amount of times I've gone into that grassy runoff on the outside is truly unbelievable. Here they've just gone past the supposed turn 8. I think it's a very similar situation to Road America, where they've got corner numbers where there are no corners.
Oh yeah. Turn 3 at Road America is almost completely invisible, and then somehow you do 2 more corners before you get to turn 5. Yeah, that's what the circuit's like. I think Sonoma's got a few turn something A's and turn something B's and what have you. So yeah, it seems to be a familiar trait when we come to these North American circuits. But I'm sure the corner names are the least of the drivers' worries, as here we go into the final chicane to get this half-an-hour race up and running.
Yeah, and it is Alon Day who is controlling the pack. Shalva not up alongside him. There he is in that number 15 car. They're going to come around down the hill towards the final corner. And it is green flag racing here at Atlanta. And Shalva right on the back of Alon Day. He's immediately the defensive 2 spins in the back. There's contact between 3 of them. They're going to come back on in front of all of the field. And there's at least 5 or 6 cars involved in that one. That's not what we wanted to see. Wing mirrors flying everywhere. Some drivers have even lost their rear wings. Meanwhile, Alon Day still in front. We'll try and get a replay of what happened after the first lap. Alon Day is still leading. He's got a slight gap ahead of Shalva in second position. And we've got Adam Levitt still. Amir Meshalam in 4th. And then I think that's where the positions will start to change. We've got Ahikam Naur up a few positions, Rancioni up a few as well, Eric Alster up 6, so a fantastic start from him. You can see on the left hand side of the screen in the timing tower all the positions gained and lost, the drivers falling foul to that lap 1 incident. Dekel, and we've got Hagay Farran as well, he's one of the fast guys, he's down 12 positions, so is Oren Sade, he was starting up at the front as well, so unfortunate for those guys. And Peter Green is out. He's retired to the pit lane.
Oh, what a dramatic start that was. It looked like the cars that were on the 3rd row of the grid, they got either hit a curb or got extremely loose through the final corner. Very easy to do there. And they've gone and ended up collecting a whole load of the field with them. It looks like Michael Sherling's made a good start. There he is in 10th. He's gained 10 places after not setting a time in quali. And he's coming up to a decent scrap involving Yossi Gabai and Yevgeny Patent here, Peter, as we come around to complete the first lap and go past that trouble zone that caused all that pandemonium at the start.
It's just like we were talking about before the broadcast. You know, that inside curb on that final corner is so treacherous, and we were talking about the incredible lack of runoff straight into the concrete wall. So just one tiny mistake for one driver, and of course we just saw dominoes after that. Such a shame for so many drivers to to get compromised at the start of the race, but it hasn't got in the way of Alon, has it? He is off like a shot at the front.
Yeah, but the gap to Chalvez, just about 6/10 of a second. He hasn't been able to pull away too much. I believe that's still in draft range if anything was to go by from Sim Races Asia on Saturday. But there's Michael Shirley making the move on Yossi Gabay into turn number 6. Just behind Gabay is Simon. And this is going to be a lovely draft train. We've got 5 or 6 cars involved in this one. Not sure if Eric Alst is going to provide too much draft out in front. But then we've got some drivers looking to make moves. Here we ride on board with Michael Sherling in the 200 car. He's going to pull to the inside for supposedly turn number 9. This is maybe a bit of an interesting one. He's going to have to go around the outside into the first apex of turn 10. And he makes the move. There he is, up into 7th. He also took Yevgeny Patent on the inside. So that's a great move from Michael Sherling up into 7th position. Meanwhile, I think Yossi Gabay is off the circuit. What's happened to him into the chicane?
It looks like he's had a spin on into the infield. Yossi Gabay there. Let's have a quick look and see what happens to him.
It looks like. Let's have a look. Here's Yehuda Ben Yosef, and
with contact.
It looked like he was already around at that point by the time there was contact made between the two drivers. Here he is in the green car, and is there contact? Yes, there is. He's just been turned by Michael Simon, and that's put him down into the club layout, and he's spinning the wheels trying to get back onto the grey stuff. Let's have a look at the replay of the start of the race then. This is Orange Sade. Is this where all of the mess is caused? Oh, and that looks like the curb has just knocked the number 12 car. Not too sure who that is, but that's just caused all of this dominoes effect like you can see on the screen now. But it looks like number 12 car up onto the inside curb, and that's forced him wide. And that's what's caused that huge incident between so many cars.
The worst thing about that is that they've got to go around the whole lap to get back to pit lane. It's just in the worst possible spot for that to happen.
And there you go on the replay. That Sardec will clip in the inside curve. That then inadvertently pushes him into the path of the 31 car. That's Hagay Farran, who had a brilliant race last time out at Mid-Ohio. He was delighted when he came to speak to us. And poor Aaron Sade, nowhere to go at all. And then a whole load of cars get involved. Number 10 with a few wheels missing. That was Yehuda Ben Yosef, who doesn't have any luck at all in this series, sadly for him. And he's had managed to get going, and a few cars had to go back to the pits. But a massive one! Someone's gone off in a big way.
That is Ventura, Tomo Ventura in the 83 car. Looks like he's just gone straight into the outside wall at that final corner, missing the rear wing and both wing mirrors as well. That's a very odd-looking Porsche Cayman car. That one looks almost identical to the road version, just missing some wing mirrors on that one. Here's Nir Cop. Was he involved in that first lap incident, or is that some new damage to his car and that beautiful iRacing Israel livery? Let's have a look into the turn 10 chicane. It looks like his car is already pretty damaged at that point. Oh dear, he's spun it again, and is that going to the wall? The bridge is going to block our view. No, it doesn't, looks like. It's like he's managed to luckily get onto that tarmac area where the club circuit goes. That awful piece of track on the right hand side. Oh, there's Tomo Ventura losing the car at the top, just getting on the grass, and then he touched the grass, and that's going in a straight line to the wall. It's a huge impact.
These little Caymans, they really don't react very well over the curbs. You know, compared to something like a GTLM or GTE car, which can handle the curbs, the Caymans seem to me to get really unsettled over the curbs, whether you use the driver aids or not.
Yeah, definitely. They almost handle like a slower, less powerful version of the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars, which is contrary to what most people thought they were going to handle like. I think everyone sort of thought it's going to be a slower GT3, but this is definitely seems to be a slower version of the Porsche Cup car that they used in the Porsche Esports Super Cup. And here we've got the only battle on our screen. He now in 5th position. We're looking on board his car, looking back at Rancioni in that beautiful Golf oil livery with the blue and orange, and he's got a fantastic exit, has Tioni, He's definitely going to be in the draft of Hikam now, and he's going to pull
Here he
to
comes.
the left-hand side of our screen, to the right-hand side of the circuit. Let's ride on board with him now on the number 20 car. And is he going to be able to make the move before the braking zone? I don't think he is. Yes, he is. It looks like Hikam now just pulls out of that one before they reach turn number 10. Rancioni up into 5th position.
Look who's coming here, it's Michael Sherling. He's in 7th place, he's gained 13 places. We saw him pull off that pretty decent move into the chicane where he took 2 cars in one corner. And here he is now arriving onto the back of this fighting duo. And Hakim Nawa is going to have to slowly turn his attention from the car in front to this guy that's coming at a fair rate of knots. Look how much speed he gained just through turn 1, Peter.
Oof. Tell you what, I thought he was going to have a look there up into turn 3, which is always a very, very risky move. But he's got by Sherling. He's had a great run up the field here. Notice when he made that move down into turn 10A on downhill on the brakes, he was super late on the brakes. Really impressive.
It definitely was. And is he maybe just got a bad exit there, because Hikam now back up ahead of him as they come in towards turn 6. Looks like Hikam now is going for the switchback as they come in towards turn 7. It's not going to be on this time. Let's see who gets the better exit as they come towards the long back straight towards turn 10A and B. And it looks like it was Michael Sherling up 14 positions from where he started. Started dead last, of course, in 20th, up into 6th. And next up for him, 2 seconds up the road now because of this little battle they've just had with himself and Nawa, is Rancioni. There is just in the foreground of the screen as Shalva sets the new fastest lap of the race.
He's absolutely he's reeling in Day, that's for sure.
Let's have a look at the lap times on over the last few laps between these guys then. Alon Day has been fractionally quicker since the start of the race. A couple of hundredths here, maybe a tenth or two, especially on lap 4 where he was nearly half a second quicker. But on that last lap, Shalva was 0.3 of a second quicker, and they've been talking about this guy for quite a while over the last few weeks, haven't they, Dane? They highly rate Shalva, and it looks like he's improving week on week, and I wonder if this now might be the opportunity for him to maybe challenge for his first win in the series.
Yeah, he obviously impressed us all at Suzuka on his debut race. He managed to pick up the scraps left by Dorian Tabechnic when he unfortunately got knocked out at 130R. He picked up the scraps and found himself in 2nd position, managed to hold his own. He actually stayed right on the back of Alon Day throughout that race, which was very impressive. He didn't have the best last few rounds, however, but within a second of Day now, with 10 minutes gone of the half-an-hour race, I definitely think he's got a good chance of challenging Alon for the win.
He's really pushing. You just saw there he went purple in the 2nd sector there, fastest of anyone through the 2nd centre. So he's really, really pushing Alon Day. But look at that, sector 1 and sector 4, fastest of anyone, with a first sub 126 lap from Alon Day. He's responded very well.
Great lap by Alon Day there, managing to break the 1 second barrier, or just about anyway. You can see how low these cars are. You could hear the front splitter crunching across the ground as they went through the S's. Quite highly raised curbs here. It's not like something you'd see on the European continent in terms of racetracks there, grade A, FIA licenses and what have you. It's almost throwback to the 90s really in terms of the raised curbs. Through the right-hander at turn 6 we go. Does Alon Day, and the gap remains just over 1 second. It's really a shame that we had that big wreck at the start that eliminated the likes of Hagay Farran and what have you, because those guys are looking pretty quick in themselves, and they would have had a decent scrap at the front as Oren Sade is now coming to the pits. Not too sure what's befallen the 147 car, but maybe it's that damage at the start, and maybe he's been waiting to serve a meatball flag, who knows, but he's coming into the pits now with just under half the race completed.
Yeah, that is very interesting to see there. As look at this. This is Hagay Farran on the back of Ido Isaac, it looks like, in the battle for 12th position. Hagay Farran, I'm sure, will make light work of Ido Isaac. He is proven to be one of the quickest drivers on the field, obviously with that race win back at round 2 at Sebring. before the likes of Alon, Day and Dorian joined the league. And always not had the best exit out of turn 6, almost touching as they come into the entry of turn number 7. Lots of wheel spin on the exit of 7. He's defending hard to the inside as well. That's not really the best move because now Hagay Farran is going to have the inside. No, he's not. He's going to look. Almost looks on the grass there. Where's he going to go? Just bump drafting almost in the Porsche Cayman car. Maybe trying to pressure a mistake from Ido Isaac. Is he going to go for a lunge down the inside? Yes, he is. Much later on the brakes. And Ido Isaac lets him by down into 13th. Now still 2 positions up from where he started. But Hagay Farran moving up the field now back up into 12th position.
That was a beautifully executed move because it's so difficult to get that move done and then also get a good exit going up the hill. Or you can all that hard work getting past on the brakes. When you're going up the hill, you can lose it all over again and then perhaps lose it into turn 1. So for him to get a great move up the inside here, heavy on the brakes, and still get a good exit, very, very impressive.
Gained quite a few car lengths by the time he'd even got the move done into the chicane.
Amazing. Amazing. He's running the red and white colours with the number 31, which in fact the Whale and Engineering entry in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, which did so well last year at the Petit Le Mans here at Road Atlanta. So clearly those colours are bringing him some luck here.
Yeah, well spotted. Yeah, I just realised that. Yeah, the Porsche GT4 looking very good here, and Hagay Farran hoping to maybe salvage something here from the race. Of course, it ended not entirely his fault at all at the start when he got clipped around before the green flag. He had to come into the pits. It looks like there are fast repairs in this series. He managed to come into the pit lane, get a new car, get back on his way, and since then he's been setting a pretty decent pace. Last time around he did a 29.3. See what kind of lap time he does this time here as he comes out of the chicane, up over the brow, under the bridge. This is where we saw the big wreck for Temo Ventura. Clips the curbs there, no such issues this time. Ooh. And over the line he goes, and he does a 1:26.9, a new personal best from him. He's flying. That's only half a second or so away from the times that the guys at the front are doing.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely one to watch, but he is 12.5 seconds behind Michael Simon. I don't doubt that he'll be able to catch that up. Alon Day setting a 1:26 flat. But Ido Isaac just getting off track a little bit as well. Here's Rancioni.
I think Shalva's made a big mistake. He's 7.5 seconds behind.
Oh yeah.
That's a very good spot indeed. Has he got some damage? Let's have a look. Here he is just behind Alon Day. That's Alon Day in front of him as he spun it into turn 6. All up on the curb, and it's unsettled the car. And does he keep it out of the barriers? No, he doesn't. There's a bit of damage to the front left. Hopefully for him, not too much wheel damage. But that, just behind him, if my screen doesn't deceive me, is Adam Levitt. And just behind him is IMSA Michelin, the league organizer, running nicely in 4th position. Here's Michael Scherling, and he's about to get past. That is Rancioni in front of him. Up the hill they go, and Sioni doesn't get a good exit at all. They're running side by side, and he gets the move done before the final corner.
I think Rancioni was very clever there. Noticed that Michael Scherling was far quicker, and sometimes it's just better to put your ego aside and just say, go on by and I'll try and follow you. And I've just given him the commentator's kiss of death. I'm sorry.
There you go.
That is turn 7. Let's see what happened to him. Looks like it's an unforced error. This is as he comes around turn 6. Does he get on that curb? Yes, he does. It's the curbs.
Just a wee bit quick in on the brakes.
Oh! And that was a Hakim Nawa that just clipped him on the exit of the corner. It looks like he's been able to carry on, but that's a shame for Rancioni. There you go, in your first race with us, Peter, you get a commentator's curse in there straight away. You can tick that off.
It's contagious.
Oh yeah, it definitely. Well, yeah, talk of the time to talk about that at the moment.
Yes, I was going to let you have that one. Sorry.
16 minutes. Yeah, we're staying alert. 16 minutes in. 12 laps in the books as well here. We're just past the halfway mark in this latest instalment of the iRacing Israel League, and right now the fight for the final spot on the podium is starting to heat up a little bit. Adam Levitt versus IMSA Michelin. Michelin was quicker by a third of a second on that last lap, Dane, so we could have a decent scrap on our hands here. And are they catching Shalva at all? Maybe not. It looks like that damage to the Porsche doesn't seem to be affecting it too much in a straight line anyway.
Yeah, they about the same distance behind, just working out by eye from when Shalva got going again after his mistake. But Adam Michelin down to 7 tenths. Down to 7 tenths behind. He's closing in as well. He's much quicker on the last few laps. You can see on the bottom of the screen there. There's Adam Levitt's gap to Shalva ahead, and you can see it's pretty much stayed the same. Obviously the 5-second one is from that incident with Shalva where he made that mistake at turn 6. But Michelin still about 7 tenths behind. I believe the draft range around here is about half a second. So he's closing in on that draft range pretty quickly. And I believe he'll be there in a few laps time. He'll have about 10 minutes to make a move for the podium.
It's incredible just how old school a circuit this is. It's wonderful. You know, you look how close the concrete walls are and also how long that back straight is. You know, back in 1970 when they had the first race here at Road Atlanta, it was actually built in a hurry in 6 months for a Can-Am race where Vic Elford put it on pole. Can you imagine going down this straight in a 1970s Can-Am car and then trying to get the thing stopped into the chicane? A lot easier in one of these Caymans, that's for sure.
Definitely, it probably would have been a blind entry to the corner.
Oof.
That's really not a good thought for me. I much prefer the nice sports brakes on these cars.
I think for watching a late 90s IMSA race, they didn't even have the chicane there. I think it was just a run over the top and then into the final corner. So that would have been extremely frightening in itself as we continue to look at the gap down to what, 4 tenths of a second? It's less than half a second now in the fight for third, and it looked like there were a few position changes going on the back straight as well. I think Yossi Goodbye and Eric Alster were having a scrap, and it's Alster that's come out on top there. Sar Deckel's got past Rancioni, who I think has just gone off the track for a second time. Let's have a quick look and see what happened to Rancioni here. This is going through the S's section at the bottom of the hill, turns it in, rides that curb. Oh, wiggle of death.
Oh, that's so easy to do down there. It's so the grip just falls away down there.
It's very difficult. You've almost, in some cars, you've even got to use the entry curb on one of the S bends as almost part of the racing line. That's how you've got to drive this circuit. And poor Rancioni, that's not the first time he's been off today, and he's got going. He's in 10th place now after that's happened.
It really is, like down just that section, that accident almost starts as soon as you come out of turn 3 into turn 4. It must be horrible in real life, you know, when the accident starts at one corner and 3 corners later it finishes. It's just that it's such a low grip circuit here at Road Atlanta. You've really got to feel everything going on underneath the car. I found actually turning the systems either right the way down or all the way feel a little bit more doing before it catches you out. I found when the systems were up at their highest, the driver aid systems, the car could almost surprise you slightly. It's got lots of support and then all of a sudden it lets you go.
Adam Levitt's definitely pushing Dane, and it looked like he made a small mistake there. The gap's come down just a little bit more.
Yeah, he sort of built up that gap slightly. I think it was about 7 tenths of a second when they started the lap, but now it's down to 3.5 tenths of a second. Definitely within draft range now as IMSA Michelin, and Adam Levitt is going to be looking in his mirrors, I'm sure, as they come out of turn number 7. They also have to be a bit careful of the driver behind them. About 12 seconds down the road is Michael Sherling. He's got about 8 minutes to try and close in that gap. I'm not too sure if he'll be able to make it, but here is Adam Levitt and IMSA Michelin, and they're trying to get past Adam Levitt. The gap is closing down. He's well in the draft now.
Here he goes.
1.5 tenths. Is he going to make a move? He pulls out to the inside of turn number 10, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move. He files back inside, but that's going to be playing all sorts of games inside Adam's head.
Oh, definitely.
Adam Levitt was just perfect on the brakes there. Really impressive.
Yeah, brilliant job by Adam there. And of course, with the demise of some of the drivers at the start of the race, the likes of Hagay Farran and whatnot, this means that a podium has presented itself to some of these drivers, the likes of Levitt and Nir Nave. They won't get too many more chances like this during the season, of course, so they'll be desperate to try and hang on to it. Any driver would as well, with 23 minutes of 30 in the books. You do not want to be giving up a position now, but that just adds to the tension, and in some that might force a few more mistakes. We'll see who can hold their nerve the longest with quite a couple of more laps to go. It is one of the shorter laps on the calendar day, I'd say, with just under 90 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. It is a pretty short lap around here at Road Atlanta. The extension on the left-hand side of the track map, where they have those two little straight sections, that definitely does add a bit. If you run the short layout, which skips straight past the S's onto the back straight, that makes it a very short lap. But here is Nir Nave. We're riding on board with him, and we can see Adam Levitt just in front of him. He's much closer this time than he was on the last lap. Is he going to make a move? Adam Levitt defending the inside just a little bit, and he's going to have to go around the outside side by side to come into the braking zone. And Michelin holds back for now. Is he going to go for a switchback? I think he is. Alon Day sits at 125.8. That's the new fastest lap of the race. Now Michelin not able to make the move stick. Just about 7 minutes left to go.
That was great discipline from both drivers there. You know, sometimes on the brakes you can see drivers moving around and sometimes making things unusually difficult. But Adam went to the left, held his line, made it Amir go around the outside, and you know, brilliant discipline from both drivers. Good to see.
One driver who's on the comeback trail is Michael Simon. He's up 7 places. There he is. He's just got past Rancioni on a couple of moments ago, so that is Michael Simon up into 10th place now. The car behind him is a laps car. That is Peter Green in the blue. Next up is Sardeckel, who's 4 seconds away, and Michael Simon's lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker, so you never know, Simon could catch him before the end of the race. Michael Simon does love a little bit of late race drama, so spot in the top 9 could be up for grabs with 6 minutes to go here.
Also interesting to see that Hagay Farran, 3 seconds down the road, has just overtaken Rancioni as well. There he is in that beautiful red and white livery, and there's Michael Simon in the background of that last shot, and he's definitely going to have his eyes set on him as they come up the hill towards turn number 3. Another interesting thing that I forgot to mention, and that's Peter Green into the outside wall of turn number 1. That's unfortunate for him. He's normally right up at the top of the grid, normally running around 5th position. I think he was involved in the earlier incident at the start of the race. There's Adam Levitt going all sorts of wide out of the final corner, running on the grass as well. Nir Nave still not able to make that move. 5 minutes left of the race, but look how close Nir Nave is as they come up the hill in towards turn number 3. Just about a car length in it. Look how much curb they're taking as well. Really confident in their car and their ability, which is great to see. But Adam, another thing that I've just noticed is we're missing another driver, Nir Nave, round 1 winner. Oh, and Adam Levitt, he's done so well to keep that out the wall. Oh wow.
Or has he? Oh, he's just about done it. Oh, the car's now spun on him. That's probably one of the world's longest accidents. Watch out. Oh, time to do the 3-point turn.
That's Michael Sherling up into 4th as well. Nir Nave in his first podium position, maybe, with just 4 minutes to go. This must be so frustrating for Adam Levitt, having to make a 17-point turn.
What a shame for Adam Levitt. He was driving such a good race, but he was really being put under a lot of pressure there, and it's so tricky down this part of the circuit. So easy to lose it. See, I think he hits the inside curb. You can hear the tyres scrubbing. Yeah. I've
got a feel for him because...
Oh, look at that wall, how close it was.
Because there was that lap traffic that he came up on, and that would have... I'm sure it wouldn't have played much of an impact, but it's just enough to almost put you off just a tiny little bit, and maybe he took that inside curve and that's what's happened. But as a result, as you're right, Nir Nave up into 3rd. Michael Sherling, there he is at the back of your shot, in 4th. Is it possible he could get a podium? Last time around he was much quicker than Michelin. I think Michelin's gone off, hasn't he? Michelin's had another incident.
Yeah, Michelin has definitely made a mistake because he was quite a long way ahead of Michael Sherling. Oh, and the lap car maybe put him off. Oh
no.
Oh no, the lap driver getting in his way and spinning right in front of him.
It wasn't
Right
Oren
into him.
Sade. It was, I'm trying to find who it was. It was Ido Izak here that was causing issues.
And there's Michael Sherling at the back of the screen taking advantage of that. He's got Meshlam in his sights now for sure. Just about a second separating the two drivers. Here's Meshlam on board. And there is Michael Sherling just a second behind.
Do you think Amir Meshalam's car is going to be 100% after that incident?
I don't think so. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'm not sure how much. These cars aren't too aero dependent. Oh dear.
Oh.
That's not a happy looking Cayman.
Well, look at the sectors. Sector 1, 2 tenths taken out, half a second in sector 2, 3/4 of a second
Look
taken
at
out
how
in sector 3.
much Sherling just gained in the draft in the braking zone. He's right on the back, and Amir Meshlam, what could have been a podium, just 2 minutes to go. I think Michael Sherling's got this one in the bag.
Oh, he's gone off.
Whoa!
No, I don't think that Cayman's at 100% at all. Yeah, he's been really solid all race long, and what a shame for him, because he, 2 corners before, he's looking down, looking at the prospect of a great podium, and then gets taken out completely, no fault of his own. He had nowhere to go there at all.
Well then,
Just 2 laps left in the race. Alon Day down the back stretch. He's going to be passing the start-finish line for the penultimate time in a few moments' time. Here is Eric Alster just ahead of that beautiful lime green Yossi Gabay. And I think Yossi is going to have a look at him now. He's right on the back, about 4 tenths between them as they come up the hill to start their penultimate lap.
Just like a roller coaster down here. The car is just right on the limit of grip, right, bouncing over the curbs, and the curbs can just catch you out. They can be so unpredictable sometimes going over these curbs at Road Atlanta. It's such a unique challenge. As they head down into turn 7, is in perfect slipstream view here. Here we go.
yeah.
Gabby's going to get in the draft.
Let's see how much the gap can come down then. It starts at just over half a second as we get onto the back straight now. And it's gradually coming down. You almost need like a dotting a hoe at the Nordschleife, I reckon, if you're to fully utilise the slipstream. It's come down about 1/10, I reckon, by the time they get into that chicane, Peter.
It looked like Alster got a really good... It's all about that exit coming out of turn 7. I think that's the most important corner on the track. It looks relatively simple, but if you just get that nice... when you've got it right, when you get that nice slingshot exit out of 7 and you see the car behind you just getting smaller in the mirror, that's a very satisfying feeling.
That certainly is. And I think one man who knows a lot about that is the race leader, Alon Day, as he comes across the final corner and across the very early start-finish line to win the race after 22 laps. That came up quickly, half an hour of the race gone. Alon Day winning his 6th race at Road Atlanta in the iRacing Israel League. Here's Shalva taking once again 2nd position, equaling his best ever finish in the league. And we've got some other drivers finishing that look like Ben Yosef and Peter Green finishing the race as well. Here is Michael Simon on the back of Sardekel. As Michael Sherling finishes the race, so does Amir Meshlam. Unfortunate for him, finishing down in 4th. Could have been a podium position for him. Here's Yossi Gabay on the back of Alster. So 2 battles still going on between some of the drivers. Yossi Gabay goes very hard to the inside, and looks like he's made that move stick up into 10. So come through 10A and 10B. You could have just called it 10 and 11, but nope, let's keep it 10A and 10B. Here's Michael Simon. Can he make a similar move into turn 10?
He is. Look at this massive 10 down the inside. Oh.
Goodness me.
He did so well to keep that out to the back of Sardekel. I'm sure Sardekel had a bit of a Code Brown moment there, but they are going to finish 10th and 11th just. And Michael Simon, unfortunate to finish only in 11th, up 6 places from where he started. But I think we've only got Yehuda Ben Yosef still on the circuit, and he's already finished. So all the drivers are finished. I think we can get the race results up on the screen in just a few moments' time. Let's have a look. I think then we're going to have some interviews, and we've got a couple of drivers lined up already for some driver interviews. Let's see if we can get the race results. There they are then. Alon Day, of course, winning the race. And they've come back. There's Shalva in second position. Unfortunately for him, he probably could have battled for the lead if he didn't make that mistake. Then we've got Michael Sherling up from the back of the grid up into third position. Great race from him. And Michelin in fourth, equaling his best race result. Adam Levitt in fifth. Hikam Nauer in sixth. Yossi Gabai in seventh. Eric Alster in eighth. Hagay Farran, with that unfortunate lap one incident, manages to fight his way back up into ninth. Then Saad Deckel rounding out the top 10. Michael Simon, unable to make that move at the end, stays in 11th. And we've got Ido Isaac, Oren Sade, 1 lap down, and 2 laps down. We've got Yehuda Ben Yosef, Peter Green, and Nir Mezrahi. And finally, Rancioni, 4 laps down. Toma Ventura, 16 laps down. He didn't finish this race. Yevgeny Patent, unfortunate for him, caught up in that first lap incident, and 19 laps down for him. And Dekel Nar not making it to the end of the first lap. Very unfortunate for a few of those drivers there. And I think we've got some time for some interviews. So let's see who have we got. We've got 5 drivers already. And I think there's only one place to start. Let's get Alon Day into the commentary box for an interview. Alon, welcome back to the commentary box. We missed you last week, but you're back. 6 wins for you in the series. How was this race for you?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I practiced quite a lot before. I don't know where Dorian is. I think Dorian is MIA, so I had to drive the race kind of alone. Shalva did a good job trying to stay the same pace as me through the first part of the race, but I think he made a mistake or something. Something happened to him and he just disappeared from my mirror. But overall, it was a pretty good race from green to checkerfield.
Yeah, well, you managed to get a 6th win, so congratulations on that. Next week, the series heads to, if I'm not mistaken, Donington. So do you have any experience driving there?
No, never. In the simulator, same as Road Atlanta, but I never been in Road Atlanta in my life, and I just won here. So maybe next year will be the same. I hope.
Well, that would be ideal. Maybe we'll have Dorian back for next week, and he'll be able to challenge you for the win again. Maybe Shalva might surprise everyone and just be on the pace straight away at Donington. We'll have to wait and see. Alon, thanks for joining us in the commentary box. Before we let you go, as always, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
No, nothing really beside the championship itself, as usual. But no, overall, it was a great race. Thank you guys for commentating, and see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Adam, let's see who you've got. I think you've got Shalva.
Yeah, good to hear from Alon Day there, especially as we didn't really get much time to see him in action during the race there. We were just looking at the times. Let's go get Shalva in for a quick word. He finished in 2nd place for this one. Let's get him in. Shalva, welcome to the commentary box.
Hey guys, what's up?
All good here, and a 2nd place finish for you is a pretty decent result. But there was one moment just at the very end of the race where you and a back marker had a bit of a collision.
Me? I think you're mistaken. I don't think I had any collisions with a back.
Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of somebody else. You hit you had an incident though where you did hit the wall and lose a few seconds though, didn't you?
Yeah, I just binned it myself. I didn't need any help with. Well, basically, Alon was quicker than me, so I had to be more aggressive on the double right-hander leading up to the straight, so I can gain a little bit of time on the straight, so I can like trying to stay relevant and hopefully hoping Alon would make a mistake. But I pushed it too hard on the first right-hander. I was kind of struggling with the turn the whole race, and I binned it. And at that point, I was just trying to nurse the car, and because I had damage, I was losing like half single lap on the straight, and I was just trying to manage the gap behind me, just trying to adjust my braking points and turn-ins and whatnot.
Oh, sorry about making that error as well. Well, you were able to stay within a couple of seconds of Alon Day, and after a few race meetings in this series, that should be a good confidence booster for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. It's really difficult to keep behind Alon. I was like thinking I'm gonna try and pressure him, and hopefully he's gonna make a mistake. But like every single time, I'm the one who makes the mistakes. It just shows he's a professional.
Next week, Donington Park. Do you reckon you can close the gap further there?
Hopefully, I don't know the track. I never raced there before, but I get working on it, and hopefully I'll be relevant. And Dorian will join us as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good scrap between you three if he's hopefully back for next week at Donington. Well, before we let you go, Shalva, after a good finish today, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone at all?
Of course, to Amir, who organized the league, to you guys for commentating and making everything much more professional, and congratulations to Alon. Hopefully, next week I'll be able to race him even harder.
Great. Well, well done on second place again. Yeah, I'll make sure I'll remember what incidents you had during the race next time.
All good.
And thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us today.
See ya, guys. Thank you.
Good to hear from Shalva. I think that's the first time we've heard from him since he joined the series. Peter, do you want to get anyone in for a quick word? I know.
Well, let me see who's waiting. Let me see. I'm
We
thinking. I want to
do
get
have
Michael
Michael
Simon in.
showing.
Yeah, if he's there, let's get Michael Simon in.
Okay.
Ask him about his last lap lunge.
Let's get him in. And he's in the interview room now. Peter, take it away.
Michael, welcome to the commentary box. How did you get on there? How did you find that race?
Oh, I hope you can hear us.
Michael, it's Peter here in the commentary box. Can you hear me?
Oh dear.
Oh no. Let's try. Tell you what. Let's try fellow. We'll come back to Michael at the end.
Sorry, guys.
Oh no, he's here.
Here he is.
He's here. There.
Yeah, the little mic over there. It's it goes like my races have been going lately. I thought you wanted Michael Sherling for sure because he had an amazing race, I heard. But if I got you in here, I'll be short. And
Michael, you had an amazing move in the last in the turn 10A on the last lap. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I wasn't really focused very well most of the race, and I realized a little bit late that I should probably at least try and stay in the points at 10th place. So I saw Sardeco slower pace. I thought I could close the gap on the straight, but for some, I don't know. I had some damage from the beginning. I don't know how. It's just weird. These cars have like no downforce, but then you could take a little bump or a little hit or something, and then suddenly like you feel like it's just you don't have it. It's not sticking, and you're losing some speed in the straights. But just trying to have fun. Not I had Hagay coming up on the back, and I didn't want to fight with him. I figured I'll let him by and let him fight with Sardeca, and maybe they'll take each other out. So I didn't get lucky there. I just really wanted to get in here and say amazing job by you guys. I always end up watching the streams and I just can't shut it off. I'll just see the highlights and I end up watching the whole stream. I love hearing you guys broadcast. You're doing a great job. And thanks again to Hagay, because Hagay, I don't know if you know, he owns Sim Race here in Israel and he's sponsoring you guys for us. So and he also does all the weekly tutorial sessions and everything. So he's really like a dad for everyone here and doing a great job.
Oh, that's awesome. So for anyone looking to be fast at Donington Park next week, that's who they should be speaking to get practicing and get some tutorials.
Oh yeah, he's got that. He's got that paternal instinct, and he likes to help us out and teach the guys, and everyone really benefits from that. Yes, definitely.
Brilliant. Well,
yeah. Last week I told myself I'll practice for Road Atlanta, and life came by and just ruined my plans. So hopefully for Donington I'll do some practice and get to another track. I haven't raced any of these tracks ever really, so everything's kind of new for me. Just got to get some hours in. Just a quick shout out again, you guys. Amir, of course, for the league, and everyone that's racing and everyone that's watching. Thanks a lot for watching, and Nikki Russell. Don't forget to count the chickens. Thank you guys.
Thanks for coming in, Michael. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Michael Simon there, and I think Dane, you're going to go after the third place finisher today, Michael Sherling, who gained quite a lot of places to get up through the field.
Yeah, let's see if I can get him in there. Oh, where's he gone now? Oh, I've moved him into the wrong place. Let's see if I can get him into the commentary box. Michael Sherling, third place today, 17 positions gained from where you started. Talk us through that race.
Hey guys, was an amazing race. Was I think the first corner I had a lot of luck there. I saw cars flying above me. Was really lucky there. Besides this, it was really nice. I overtook some cars after it. And I would like to say thanks to the drivers, they were not too, let's say, too aggressive to defend. I was lucky in this. And then I was settling for the 5th place and hoping maybe the guys in front are going to crash. Eventually something happened there, so I had luck at the end of the race, so I took the 3rd place. Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, you did get a bit lucky at the end to take 3rd place, but it was well deserved. You really did fight your way through the field almost seemingly effortlessly. As soon as you caught onto the back of a driver, bang, there's a move done up into the next position. You had your eyes straight away set on the drivers ahead, so congratulations on that. Next week, we're heading to Donington Park. Do you have any experience driving there?
I have a little bit, yeah. But again, there is an entire week to practice anyway, so it will be fun to practice it.
Yeah, so no excuses for not practicing. You do have a whole week, like you said. Alright, well, thank you for joining us for an interview, Michael. And before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
As always, to you guys, making it very exciting, everything, and of course to Amir for organizing everything. And thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. That was Michael Sherling, our 3rd place driver. And I believe, Adam, that is all we have time for. I think we might actually be able to get a word with Amir before we go.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, there are. We've been looking at some of the replays of the chaos at the start. I was hoping to see if we could get a few drivers in for a quick word to see what their thoughts were on the collision at the start. But yeah, let's get Amir Michelin in for a quick word. Just missed out on a podium today, but it was a solid effort from him, and he joins us in the commentary box now for a quick word. Amir Michelin, welcome.
Hi, hello guys. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad here. A good race for you today. You were constantly on the cameras because you were in quite a few battles, and I think if the race was one lap shorter, you would have been on the podium.
Yeah, I could have been. Yeah, the rest was pretty close between me and Adam. All the race, we were about 1 second apart. Sometimes even much less. I waited for him to do some sort of a mistake, and I waited for 18 lap until it happened. But as you guys saw, like few seconds after it happened, Ido that was ahead of me but lap behind slept and hit right into me. But I didn't lose any place, but I got a lot of damage, and then Michael just passed me on the last lap, I think, or one before. But that's it. That's racing. I think I'm pretty happy with fourth place 2 times in a row. Pretty good.
I guess you were able to push Adam Levitt for so long. It must have felt quite rewarding to maybe see him make that mistake with after pushing him for so many laps.
Yes, I knew that it's going to be very, very hard to pass him on the track. I mean, I was planning for that. I even did 2 tries, and I was planning for another try. But I knew it would be much easier if he'll do a mistake. And in this track, as you probably see all over in this race, it's very easy to do mistakes. But that's racing. I mean, after all, I didn't lose a place. I finished fourth place as I was most of the race. I saw now what happened in the beginning of the race. I was lucky not to be a part of it. That's it.
Yeah, it was a great. I think we were on board with you for the on some of the replays of the start. You had one of the best views in the house, I think, or behind you in your mirrors anyway, for what happened there. Next week, Donington Park. Do you have much experience of racing around there, or will you be getting the looking at the lap guides and whatever during the week ahead of it?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't think I ever drove Donington. I'm not sure. I can't recall any driving there. Yes, as you guys know, we have Hagay, and Dorian and Alon doing hot laps and instruction every week for all the league, which is very, very helpful. I'll definitely participate in that and get as much training as I can in the official series, and hope for also a good race next week.
Great. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone at all?
No, again, just for everyone participating and contributing to the league, and you guys, thank you very much.
Well done on the fourth place. I'm sure that podium isn't too far away. And yeah, thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us.
We'll get there. Thanks.
Good to hear from IMSA Michelin there. Have we got time for one more, Dane? Or I'm not too sure.
I was gonna say let's go to Hagay Farran, but he seems to have left the interview waiting area, unfortunately. Trying to think back to who was involved in that lap 1 incident. I don't think there is anyone, as everyone is leaving the interview waiting area.
There we go. So I think we'll take that as our cue, I think, to wrap up here. Before you close us out then, Dane, Peter, what did you make of that? Your first iRacing Israel race? I know you had a look at what happened last time out at Mid-Ohio, but your first time commentating on one, and for half an hour's action there was quite a lot to look at.
It certainly was. I mean, Road Atlanta is one of my favourite tracks to spectate on. I find it incredibly challenging to drive. It's such a tricky track. It's such a great challenge. I'm actually going there for real in October, I hope, for the Petit Le Mans race. So it was a joy to commentate with you guys. And I tell you what, the 30 minutes went past in a flash. And a little bit of a shame about the pile up at the first corner, but that is very much a hazard at Road Atlanta. So no, it's been brilliant, and looking forward to calling another one with you guys soon.
Adam, have you got any final comments before we wrap it up?
Just to repeat what Peter said, really. Yeah, great. Another great race in the iRacing Israel League. Saw a good one at Mid-Ohio, and we continue on with the good racing here in North America. Very much looking forward to seeing what's going to happen at Donington Park next week. One of my favourite circuits, that one. So really excited to see what these guys can deliver. The racing just seems to be getting better every week here.
It certainly does. Took them a couple of weeks to warm up, but now after 9 rounds, they're definitely all in the thick of things. Hopefully next week we will have Dorian Tabechnic and Nir Nave as well, just to add some spice into the mix. Hopefully we can get to the top 4 or 5 drivers all battling for the lead at Donington. That would be a fantastic sight to see. That is it from us then. Make sure to subscribe to the iRacing Israel League YouTube channel. Also, do check out Apex Racing TV on YouTube and also Instagram and Facebook as well, where we do have daily race recaps. So be sure to check out all of that. But from now, from me, Adam, Peter, and everyone else at Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Israel League, we thank you for watching and wish you a good night and happy racing.